Okay, that's
Agree
fine.
to disagree.
Okay.
We accept all opinions. But I can listen to this all the time. We accept opinions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on? We got Haley here.
And your boy James. And this is the Duck Squad Podcast.
Are we freezing yet?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. I don't know if you know out there, but like it's freezing today. I was freezing my butt off.
My fingers almost fell off at work today.
Yours too? My name is James. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Haley.
Hey.
And, we've been friends for years. We met in college.
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah.
Wow. For a long time.
Been like almost 10 years. You know that?
Don't tell me 10 years. That's a long time.
I mean, we met back in 2016, and it's 2024.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
2016. What a great year.
Yeah, great year. We're going to get into that in a minute. But yeah, we met in college. We reconnected because we worked together at a pet store. And
yeah, we'll have a lot to say about that maybe.
That's another episode.
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast, another episode, another day.
Yeah.
But
we met at college. We were theater majors together.
Yeah, we came up in theater. We reconnected listening to Dear Evan Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We saw it on Broadway.
That
was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw Ben Platt himself. I was gonna say Ben Affleck. It's Ben Platt. You imagine that, Ben Affleck as Dear Evan Hansen?
That's interesting.
Make it happen.
Sorry, Ben Platt. Your days are over.
He's fine. He's got a Tony. He's good. Okay, this has already gone off the rails. What we're here to do, we wanted to make this podcast because, we just talk all the time about music and movies and, musicals and everything. So we were like, why don't we just put that into a podcast?
Yeah, honestly. Over the course of the summer 2024, we were just like, we just have to make a podcast. At first, it was just we wanted to talk about literally everything. Work, music, movies, whatever. And then August 2024 hits. Post Malone, shout out, that's who we're talking about today, puts out an album, a country album.
Yeah, if you know Post Malone, doing a country album, that's quite a turn from where he started. You want to do a little intro on Post?
Yeah, let's go back to 2016 again. We mentioned 2016 earlier. We just became friends. We just started college. We were making friends. We were going to school. We were learning things. It was great. And then Post Malone, 2016, drops his first album. It was his album debut back in 2016, and he dropped what?
It was called Stoney. It was a huge hit album. Really got him on the map, including hits such as Congratulations with Quavo from the Migos, as well as I Fall Apart. Songs like that just really helped put him on the map, and he just kept going after that, thanks to his follow-up album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
Yeah.
A huge hit.
And also on his first album, White Ivory Sun was on that. That song really blew him up.
You're right. I totally forgot about that track. That's the one that really helped him blow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there, he went to Beer Bongs and Bentleys, which had multiple, number one hits.
Oh, yeah.
Rockstar, that was his first number one hit with 21 Savage. Yep. We'll do a 21 album someday.
What's 9 plus 10?
Run?
Stupid.
Then you had Psycho, Ty Dolla $ign, Better Now, solo hit.
Better Now is such a good song.
That's a good song. It's a real good song.
One.
And that album got him his first Grammy nominations. I know the album was nominated for Album of the Year. But yeah, from after that, he just went on to Hollywood's Bleeding just about a year after. So this is at a point he was just spewing out music left and right. And that album had a bunch of hits as well, including his, would you say, first crossover pop hit with Circles?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he always kind of dabbled in different genres. I would say that was his first real pop song.
Yeah, you could really tell he was just trying to find his vibe and stuff throughout these albums. Every one was good, but you could tell he was blowing up and he was taking in the fame and he was just trying to find his art.
Exactly. And that caused him to take a little bit of time off after that. I know 12 Karat Toothache came out 2022, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a couple years after Hollywood's Bleeding, but we had the pandemic and everything. Plus, he was starting his family as well. He has a wife and a child now. He wanted to put some focus on that, but that album had hits itself, of course, with I Like You, the Doja Cat song.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Fun fact, that was my number one listened to song in 2023.
It's a bop.
It's a good one.
It's a real bop.
And that's probably my second favorite Post Malone album, because that album has a lot of songs that really hit me when I was going through it. And that song was really there for me. I meant album. Did I say song? I meant album. The whole album. The whole thing.
I Like You was there for you, but so was the whole album.
Yeah. We had Lemon Tree, we had Wrapped Around Your Finger, we had I Cannot Be.
Yeah, and that album, I think, saw him dabble the most in, like, pop music. That's, like, the first album where it didn't feel as much about, like, trap rap, like, that type sound for him.
Yeah.
You also felt that on Hollywood's Bleeding, because there was mixes of, like, pop and some rock and roll in there as well. This is where he was really transitioning out of, like, the trap rap sound, which led to his follow-up album, 2023, a self-titled album, Austin.
Yeah.
Very personal album, very guitar-driven, very pop-driven. It was very different from everything that we heard from him, and I think it went over really well.
I loved it. I have it on vinyl.
It's a good one.
You also forgot he put out a whole album for just his Diamond collection.
That's true.
It's on Spotify.
It's on Spotify. Check it out. It has all the hits from all these albums that we've been talking about.
Imagine being so good at what you do, you just have to make like a 2-disc Diamond collection album of all your hits.
You don't see that as much these days.
He's young. He's like 27, 26?
He's only like a year or two older than us, so like...
What the hell?
He's not even 30. We know he's not 30. So like to have a Diamond collection album and you're not even 30 years old, that's something else.
Yeah, that's crazy. And
I want that. Let me have some hits, Post.
And now that brings us to his album that just came out this August, F-1 Trillion. It's completely different from everything he's done up until this point because it's country. I mean, he kind of dabbled in it with Austin. A little bit of that kind of like, I'm going to get away from the rap, the pop era. I'm going to do me. And now he's doing country. I think, I might be wrong, but I think he's the first artist to hit the charts for like every genre, like pop, rap, rock, and country.
That might be true. I should look that up. But just long story short, he's a very versatile artist and has done many different things, and he's done them very well. So we're here to talk today about the country album, F-1 Trillion, which also includes a long bed deluxe version, but we're going to get into that one on a different day. We got to review that a little bit more before we can properly say what we think about it. But we're just going to be talking about the standard edition of the album, which is 18 tracks, which includes a lot of features. I mean, Post has always been known for like having some features on his album, but just about almost every one of these songs, only 3 solo songs on the standard version.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like he really wanted to do tribute and do good to the genre in general, so he took a lot of new artists and he took a lot of old like OG country artists and just wanted to create something incredible.
Yeah, definitely. There's like a lot of new artists as well as some classic country artists that you know. And I think it's really cool, particularly with the newer artists that I didn't know about. Like a couple people on here, Sierra Farrell, as well as Billy Strings. I didn't know too much about them, but like listening to their songs made me want to go and listen to their music. And I think that's really cool sounding what they got. They have like an older school sound, which I really liked. If you don't know about me, I like old school country the most when it comes to country music. I mean, like I'm down for anything, but like more than anything, I would say like that Willie Nelson type sound. Keith Whitley, that's a favorite of mine. Dolly Parton, who also appears on this album. That's my personal favorite sound. What do you think of country?
So when I was a kid, that was really the first genre of music I really got into because that's what I listened to all the time with my mom. And we always listened to like whatever was on the radio at the time in the early 2000s. So we're talking like Tim McGraw, Toby Keith, rest in peace. We're talking Sheryl Crow. You know, those types of artists, like those OG, like when country was, when it was really popular.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty. That's another one.
Yeah, so we had those hit songs. You know, I was listening to Mr. Mom when I was like 6. I was bopping to it. It was a hit. They cooked. Whoever sung that song, I can't think of it right now.
Stand by. We're going to do a quick search.
Hold on, who sang Mr. Mom? I have to know.
Mr. Mom, who sang Mr. Mom?
Lone Star?
Lone Star.
It's Lone Star. I don't remember them at all, but maybe they were a one-hit wonder. Maybe I don't know anything.
They sing that song, Maybe I'm Amazed. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, that's a Paul McCartney song. Their song is called Amazed. Excuse me. I am so sorry, Sir Paul McCartney.
We're going to cut this out. It's fine.
I don't know why you do what you do. That song. Oh, we don't get copyrighted for that.
But yeah, so that's what I listened to when I was a kid. And then as I grew up, I just got into more and more different genres and subgenres. And I kind of fell out of the country phase up until this year because F-1 Trillion was coming out. And then I slowly, like, he dropped his singles beforehand. Like, I had some help. He had a couple other singles come out before this album. And that's when I started diving into a couple of artists that feature on his album, like Morgan Wallen and, you know, like Jelly Roll and stuff like that. I know Jelly Roll's really taken off right now.
And Jelly Roll just dropped as well. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
He did. His deluxe album's like, I don't know, I think it has like over 25 songs.
Yeah, no, Jelly Roll's another one in country that's really blowing up. There are a lot of artists right now that are helping country like really take over, I would say. And like
country's cool again.
Yeah, no, like back in the 2000s, it was like rock and roll. Then like I know like this past decade, it was really like the rap, hip hop sound. But like country is really just blowing up again. Like it's becoming like the number one genre thanks to people like Post Malone and Jelly Roll. Like they're really helping to revive the genre. Well, not revive it; it's always been around, but put it more in the mainstream. So I think that's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's cool to have different genres revolve around again, so we get all different varieties of artists, and we can see what they're doing, because creating things is just so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I've really got the country itch listening to this album. It makes me want to go listen to more, which we'll get into. But without further ado, you want to just go ahead and start diving into this?
We're gonna dive into it. I have a couple fun facts about the album cover itself.
Well, go right ahead.
Maybe it's only one, but I think it's fun. So we all know the F-1 Trillion album cover, right? It's got this truck that's, what is it? Is it pointing straight down into the ground? Or if you look at the long bed version, it's just diving right into a lake.
Right.
So that actually is a 1971 blue Ford pickup truck. And I think they took that truck and kind of took it on tour or something for a little bit. You could go to different cities and look at this truck that featured on the album, which was kind of cool. Because like you expect artists to go on tour when they drop an album, but like your first thought isn't like, oh, let me go see like the art that's part of the album cover. I thought that was kind of cool.
I think I saw that. I think I saw a video on TikTok of him with the truck when he was going on tour, going around doing shows. So that's actually that's a really cool fact.
He should have just drove it on tour.
He's probably driving it right now. Who knows? He's got a show tonight, probably.
Does he? He probably does. I feel like F-1 Trillion, because Post Malone is so popular, because everybody knows Post Malone. This is the perfect beginner album to listen to if you're just getting into country. Which is why I kind of enjoyed getting back into it, because then I was like, oh, I can listen to all these artists again, like Morgan Wallen. I can listen to like Tim McGraw again, and all these people.
Yeah, you got dudes like Hank Williams Jr. as well, huge guy in country. His father Hank Williams was a huge name. You got people like Blake Shelton, of course, Brad Paisley, Lainey Wilson, Chris Stapleton. That's another big guy in country right now, Chris Stapleton. A lot of big names currently going on in country right now. It's cool, really cool to see.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm ready if you are.
Absolutely. You want to do your review? Do I do my review? You want to like go back and forth? What do you want to do?
Who cares?
We're a no structure podcast. In case you don't know, we don't know what we're doing. We're just doing whatever.
It's our first time, so it's gonna be some of it's scripted, some of it's improv. Who cares? We're just doing it, and it's fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, everything I'm saying is like off the top of my head. I didn't write down any notes. My girl here got some notes. I didn't think to write down nothing.
Well, I have to write down everything because I literally forget every single thing. You know this.
Yeah, I've known this for about 8 years now.
You worked with me. You saw I had to write down every single thing, all the way down to go to the bank today.
And you still didn't go to the bank that day.
I didn't go to the bank. I forgot.
Okay, this is getting off the rails again. All right, well, why don't we go ahead and take this track by track. I do want to say, overall, just a little bit, I thought it was really cool to see Post Malone like get into like the country space. What I was worried about though with this album is that I didn't want it to feel like too like novelty country wise. Like I didn't want it to have like this generic country sound. Like I can hear any like male country artist doing this. I was hoping for like a little bit more of like an authentic sound when I was imagining Post on country, because Post always brings some sort of originality to every sort of genre that he makes. I'm kind of hoping for that. I think overall that's what we got here. There's some spots here I thought were a little spotty, which I think we'll get to in a second. But like, yeah, let's go ahead and start talking about. We're going to do this a little bit like track by track. So yeah, we're going to start with the first track.
So track number 1 is Wrong Ones featuring Tim McGraw, one of the OGs of country.
Yeah, no, I like Tim McGraw. I think he's a cool artist.
Yeah, he was very popular in the 90s and the early 2000s. He still does make music. That's the era I know him from. A whole bunch of hits such as Live Like You Were Dying. That is a bop. That'll always live in my heart.
Rocky Mountain Climbing. Oh, that's a bop. That's a good track. But yeah, no.
I sing that all the time at work.
It was a good song. It was always come on the radio at work too. Like, it was a jam.
Yeah, it did. That's why we sang it. I was trying to think of why we were singing it all the time.
Because it always came on, yeah.
Yeah, because somebody kept putting on the country station at work, and we were like, oh, this sucks. Because it's all the bad songs.
Yeah, they weren't playing any of the good country tracks. That's not a diss towards country. It's just like a lot of the country songs that were playing were like kind of eh.
Almost all of them were bad, but then Tim McGraw would come on.
He always came on. He always came through. Such a good song. Getting back into this track with Wrong Ones. Me personally, I thought this was an okay start to the album. This is kind of what I was saying a minute ago about the novelty sound. I think this was a bit novelty, generic wise. Like I can kind of hear anyone doing this. It's very hard, very like guitar, drum driven type track that you want to hear in a stadium. So I think it's appropriate to start off the album with. And I think both of them do very well, blending their voices onto this type of track. I just thought it was a bit generic compared to everything else. That's not a diss really at all. I just think maybe he could have came a little bit harder.
Yeah, I could see that. I thought this was a great song to open the album up to because it's not like I Had Some Help. It's not like a huge bop that everybody's gonna know and dance to or anything like that. But like I feel like mentally when you listen to this, it's like the engine is turned on and it's like revving up. It's getting ready to just put out all this great music. Got kind of like a Villain era vibe to me, you know?
I can hear like a Villain like playing this over like their big moment in a movie climax.
Yeah, and usually like in movies when someone enters their quote unquote villain era, they're like totally changing or doing something different, which I thought was kind of fitting because it's kind of like what Post Malone is doing.
Yeah, definitely. So overall, yeah, a pretty good song. Not one of my favorites. It's one of the few I don't return to as much. It's not a bad track. You want to give like a 1 to 10 rating or?
I mean, before I do that, I kind of get what you mean, though, too. I kind of had the same questions when I clicked play on the first track for the very first time. I was like, how is he going to sound? Is this going to be good? Is this going to be iconic? Is this going to be another country album that kind of falls off the rails? But, sorry, I'm reading my notes again. I'm like, what did I write?
No, you're good. But when you read your notes, I will say that just overall, I do think Post Malone, his voice lends well to the country genre. You know, it didn't sound like he was standing out like, oh, like this is just Post Malone over some generic country sort of sound. Like, no, he fits well into like the country sound with that little bit of rasp that you hear in his voice.
Yeah.
So I do feel like on every track that works well. So like that was never a problem for me vocal wise. I thought he sounded very good on all these tracks, including this one.
Mm-hmm. I think overall I would rate the song I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Like, if the tempo was a little bit faster, just a little bit, I thought it would be great. It might lean a little more towards, like, rock at that point, because there are some moments in the song where, I want to headbang, I want to, rock out to this guitar solo and everything is incredible. The tempo is just a little slow, which I get because it's a country song. That is my rating, and I'm sticking with it.
That's fine. Me personally, I would say, I would give it maybe like a 6 out of 10. You know, again, I think this is a very understandable start to the album, and I think it's interesting what you said, because this is definitely like one of those like country rock type songs, and it definitely does lean, I think, a little bit more in like the rock sort of way. My problem with it overall was just, I thought it was just a little bit generic, a bit novelty. Like I've heard a lot of people do this type of song, and it just kind of sounded the same. I think, you know, very appropriate to start the album with.
Yeah, one of my favorite lyrics in the song that Tim McGraw said, he said, "Straight out of Louisiana, I'm a bad boy, real good man." Just because I like the way they rhymed Louisiana. They just said Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I thought that was cool.
All right. So, okay, we're going to move on to the next track. Track number 2, Finer Things, featuring Hank Williams Jr. Like I was saying before, he's Hank Williams Jr., you know, his father, Hank Williams, huge country legend, and he himself is a huge country legend. He's really up there himself right now. So I think it's really cool that he hopped on this album with him.
I honestly have never listened to Hank Williams Jr. or Hank Williams. I don't know if I did when I was younger.
I mean, they're one of those guys. They're the guys, like, you really have to, like, really be into the genre, I think, to know them.
Yeah.
Because, again, you're going way back with that kind of sound.
Yeah, but it is nice that he grabs these more OG artists that have a lot of history in the genre.
And I think it's cool for they themselves to, like, come through on the album and show him the respect by welcoming him into this genre as well. Mm-hmm. You see a bit of a struggle with that sometimes with artists who, like, switch genres. They're not as welcomed by the fellow artists who exist in that space already. But I think it's really cool that he kind of welcomed them in here by hopping on this song.
This song makes sense for Post Malone because he's a country guy, but he's also very bougie. You know, he's a bougie boy. He has his grills. He has, you know, he's always wearing all this fancy jewelry. He's got all these cool clothes and all these cool shoes that he'll give to people after the show. This song's very fitting for Post Malone, I think. And also, do you know when you click on a song on Spotify, it'll show you like a little clip of like the music video or a random video?
Yeah. I
love the one for this song because he's like just like being silly, and then he just looks at the camera at the end, he like throws up peace signs. He's just silly.
This was actually one of my, I don't know if one of my favorites, but like I really like this one. Like this for me, like really got the album going a little bit here. I thought they both sounded really dope on the track. Hank Williams really came through vocally, I thought here. Mm-hmm. And like you said, this is just a really cool, fun song. Country really, I feel like it's at its best when you're doing like a storytelling type thing. And like this is what he was doing here. I got this. I just got a thing for the finer things. Like it had that just sort of like a fun storytelling side of country, which I thought was really cool. So, this was definitely like a favorite of mine, I would say. I really like this one.
And it kind of contrasts like the stereotypical country song, I think, because usually I feel like country songs always have kind of like a humble vibe where like they're singing about all that they need is like their wife or their family. They just need a beer and a good time, stuff like that. And Post Malone's like, I got all this shit, man. Look at me.
Yeah, that's him bringing like his old school vibe into like a different genre.
Yeah, this is like Stoney gone country.
Absolutely.
And this song is only 3 minutes long, but it feels like it goes by so quick. I had to listen to it like 5 times.
Yeah, no, it does definitely kind of fly a little bit faster than compared to some of these other tracks. One more thing I do want to say about this track is, again, like my favorite kind of country is just old school country. This definitely had that old school vibe. Definitely thanks to the help of Hank Williams Jr., who is an old school type of country artist. I think he definitely brought that out of Post. So I thought that was really nice to hear. I really like that kind of sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this song was really cool. I probably wouldn't pick this myself to listen to, and for that, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. But I still think it's a very good song. Especially for Post Malone to be venturing into the country genre and this being his second song on the album. Pretty good song.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, like this for me was a bop. This was just a straight up bop, fun storytelling. Their back and forth was cool. I could just put this on and have a good time. Like I could ride around. I wish it was still summertime. Like I could just ride around with the windows down. Just I got a thing, find a thing. I could do that. I could just do that and not feel ashamed. So yeah, that's my rating. 8 out of 10. I really like this track.
You just gotta turn it up louder so they hear it with the windows up.
I'm not doing that now. It's too cold for that.
No, leave your windows up and turn the volume up.
You did say that.
I did.
My bad.
Just go drive around the countryside. We live close enough to the country.
Yeah, I can do that. It gotta be light out though. It's getting dark faster.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna move on to track number 3.
Oh, number 3. Oh, here we go. That's where it takes off.
Now, if you don't know this song, then you've kind of been sleeping under a rock. It's I Had Some Help featuring Morgan Wallen, the first single from the album, huge hit. I don't know if we mentioned this before. I know we mentioned, like, it's been number 1, but, like, it was the number 1 song of the summer on the Billboard charts.
Yeah, I have that written down. The hit of the summer. And it was also my personal summer bop, too.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like a summer bop. Like, you can just put this on over and over again.
Yeah, they put this out at the perfect time.
It was perfect. I think it came out like around
July? June?
I think June, maybe even May. Like this song's been out for a while. Like it definitely was out like the whole summer. I think it was May.
Maybe it was May. I think you're right.
So what do you think of the song? Like we definitely are familiar with the song. So
I love the song. This was the first song because I make playlists for everything. I just love making playlists for everything, every mood, every season, everything. And I made my summer playlist. This was the first song I added on there. I was like, this has to be the song of the summer. And it was. It charted. It has over 700 million streams on Spotify. That's crazy. He hit the charts with this song immediately. This was crazy. Honestly, this was the first time I ever even heard of Morgan Wallen. So I was like, oh, okay, who is this guy? And I ended up listening to a couple of his songs here and there on Spotify. And I really like his vibe and his music as well. But this song, the lyrics are a little sad. It's kind of like a breakup song almost, but the beat and just the tune itself is so like upbeat. It's just like you can still party to it. It kind of reminds me of pop punk in that way, where pop punk is like sad lyrics, happy beats.
I was thinking the same thing. Like some songs, they make you want to get up and dance, but like if you really sit down and listen to the lyrics, I'm like, oh man, this is kind of sad actually. Yeah. It's a little depressing. Like really dissecting some of the lyrics for this track. Like you thought I'd take the blame for us stumbling. Like, golly.
Yeah, it's about this one person just trying to pin it could have been a breakup, it could have been like a friendship breakup, a relationship breakup, something, but it's just one person trying to pin it all and one person trying to be the bad guy, but really in the end, karma gets them.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting sort of topic. Theme. Yeah, and I think this was a really like interesting take on it too. Like the way they approached it. Like, hey, I had some help with this. Like, I realized I made some mistakes. I didn't do this all by myself. Sometimes you play the blame game in like these breakups. Like, no, you had a little bit to do with this too. I know you did. Like, I had some help in all this.
Yeah. It doesn't even matter if you're both bad people or whatever. If you weren't compatible, whatever. Y'all did it together. It was y'all two.
It was y'all two. I didn't do this breakup. It was y'all two.
Do you guys know the video that went around on TikTok of these kids? And it was like, who put the milk in the cabinet?
Yeah, this guy is like freaking out, and like the two guys over in the corner are just like laughing, like they're totally gaslighting him. Like, like the one guy, he reaches in and just puts it back in the fridge, like he did it. He's like, I might have done it. Like,
I don't remember. What do you mean you don't remember?
Yeah, that's a TikTok we connected on a lot. We reference it like all the time, and no one gets it.
Nobody ever gets it. Then we have to show them the video, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
That's a good one. But back into the album.
It was y'all two. Like, this is one of those songs that's really like, hey, we did this. We made this mess together. But you know what? I admit that I made some mistakes. I did some wrong. But you're trying to blame it all on me, and karma's gonna get you. Karma is gonna come around and it's gonna beat your ass.
Definitely a fun topic. Definitely a fun way to approach it. And I think their voices together lend well with each other. I think this was a really cool, probably one of the stronger collabs, because again, I think it just paired well with one another.
Yeah, they really vibed well together. It was very fun to listen to. Just the tune and everything. Like, everybody was listening to the song. Everybody loved this song. It was just all over the radio. I don't listen to the radio, but I knew it was on the radio a lot. It makes me miss summer, and I don't really like summer that much, but it makes me miss summer because, like, I just listen to the song and I just want to, like, have a bonfire and just, like, have a party.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's just something you want to listen to with your friends, just hanging out and having a good time on a cool summer night, I totally get that. I kind of looked at your notes and saw your ranking, but you want to just go ahead and say...
It's a 10! I love it. Who doesn't love this song?
Yeah, no, this is a good song. I'd probably say 8. I like the song. I think there are some stronger songs on here listening to it within the album. Like, when I first listened to the song, I was like, oh yeah, this is the bop. I love it. I think listening to it in the album, I think it's maybe one of the weaker songs, just more in comparison. But I don't think
it's a more viral song.
Yeah,
it was
definitely
a more hypey song.
But again, I don't think it's bad at all. It's a bop, definitely. So that's just my personal ranking. I'll say 8.5.
Okay, I can take an 8.5 for this song. It is my album, after all. I wrote it.
Oh yeah, of course. It's your opinion. My mistake.
Yeah, we just let Post Malone take it,
Yeah. Sorry, you didn't pay me royalties, by the way, Post. We don't have to talk about that.
What if he listens to this? Nobody's gonna listen to this.
If you still listening to this,
Thank you. You're a real one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the time. We're like more than a half hour in already. We're only on track. We're not to track 4. Okay. Pour Me a Drink, featuring Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton, I got into Blake Shelton not so much due to his music, but more like on his run on the show The Voice.
Yes, he does everything.
Yeah, no, the Voice really put him on the map. He's just done everything. He's married to Gwen Stefani. Like, I would never have thought the two of them would have got together, but hey.
What a couple.
If you're in love, you're happy, I'm happy for you. What did you think of this song?
So this was one of his singles that he dropped.
Yep.
And I'll say this song kind of grew on me because when it first came out, I wasn't in love with it because I'm not a huge Blake Shelton fan or anything, and I never really got into his music either. But this song would come on once in a while on Spotify, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna skip it for now. But the more I listened to it, the more I fell in love with it, and it's another great summer song to have on your playlist. It is the second most listened to song on the album. Probably because it was a single that came out in, July?
It was the second song released after the Morgan Wallen song.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely had a head start.
It did. The music video looks so fun. That's exactly what I envisioned a summer party to be. Just everybody just hanging out. They genuinely look like they're having fun in the music video. They look like they're friends. They're best friends.
Yeah, no, I will agree, though. I do think, again, this is one of the weaker songs maybe on the album. I like Blake Shelton. I think he's cool. I think he can be really funny at times, and he's got some good songs. But again, this was sort of going into my worries with the album. I feel like this one is a bit novelty. I feel like this one is a little generic. We can hear a lot of... I feel like I've heard this before. I feel like I've heard this a lot of times done in country. This is just one of those moments where I don't feel like anything special was brought to the fold here with Post Malone. I think it's saved by its catchiness. The chorus is definitely a catchy track. Pour me a drink.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It sounds a little common. Probably got a little more hype because, like, whoa, it's Post Malone. He's like singing country again. Like, he put out another country song. I mean, that's probably why. And I don't think Blake Shelton really has like put out a lot of music in the past couple years, so maybe that's why I got a little more hype as well. I think if I remember correctly, the last thing he did put out was like a Christmas album in 2022.
I haven't actually heard a lot of Blake Shelton in a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into him much anyway, but
Yeah, no, his last... I'm sorry.
no, you're good. I was gonna say for like the sake of the album and for this being like Post Malone's like debut country album, this song is very fitting in that sense where like it's kind of like a party song and it's a country song, so it makes sense. It's a little kind of novelty-ish. But I mean, also I was listening to this song and it made me think about how I really appreciated the different collaborations on the song. Sorry, on the album, on the whole album. Just all these different collaborations that he had done and why there's so many collaborations on this album because there's just so many different people and they all have different styles and different things. So maybe maybe this is more of a Blake Shelton style kind of song that they worked on together. Maybe that's why it's a little more novelty-ish.
Yeah, I was just thinking that now that you mention it, this definitely does feel more like a standard Blake Shelton song. But again, even so, I feel like Blake Shelton has done this sound a little bit stronger. But I don't think it's a bad song at all. Yeah, and Blake Shelton actually hasn't dropped an album since 2021, and he left The Voice a couple seasons ago. So I think he's just kind of like laying low key, just enjoying family life, which is cool. But I think it definitely got hyped because it's sort of like a return, like, oh hey, Blake Shelton's putting out music again. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But overall, a fine song, definitely a cool song just to bump to when you're driving around in the summertime. But I do think it's one of the weaker songs on the album. Me personally, I'd say about maybe 6 out of 10.
Yeah. It's not my personal favorite, but for the sake of the album, I gave it like a 9 out of 10. Because in my mind, it really fit with the vibe of the album. And, I mean, he's got to put out his more hypey songs as singles. Blake Shelton, and he hasn't done music in a while. He's on the album. He's got to put this song out. And, it brought the hype for the album. So for that, I had to give it like a 9 out of 10.
Okay, I get that. Moving on to the next 5. Song. We have the Heart, featuring the legendary Dolly Parton.
We all know Dolly, right?
Yeah, she don't need no introduction. We don't got to get into all that. Dolly's a legend, huge artist. We love her. But what did you think of the song itself?
I mean, the song itself was great. This song for me was a little weaker, not because of Dolly or anything, but more almost like tech-wise, because like it started out great and then something with Dolly's voice and the way they processed it just doesn't sound right to me, and it's a little disappointing because I was like, oh cool, Dolly's putting out more music, and something just didn't sound right. I just couldn't put my finger on it.
I definitely think with this track, there were some mixing issues in the studio-wise. In case you don't know, Haley, she definitely does like more like the behind-the-scenes stuff when it comes to theater, so she definitely knows about the technical side a little bit more than I do. I do think there were some mixing issues here on this track, which was a little disappointing because I was really looking forward to this track because, again, I love Dolly Parton. As a song itself, I think it has like sort of like a cute sort of vibe to it, them going back and back, like, I don't have the heart to break yours. I think that's really fun. I think that's a really cute sort of thing. And I really like seeing duets like that in country music. And again, it has like more of like that older sound again because I think Dolly Parton's on the song.
Yeah,
this definitely sounds like something she would have recorded back in the day, or like maybe like a Kenny Loggins.
Oh, Kenny Loggins, that's another name.
It's another big name. Yeah. I definitely could have seen her doing that a little earlier in her career. But I think it's really cool that she brought that vibe here with Post. But again, I think this song is kind of bogged down a little bit by some technical issues in the studio-wise. I think this song could have used a little bit more time.
Yeah, I wonder why it sounds like that. I don't know if it's intentional or if... I don't know. Either way, it's still a good song. The lyrics are adorable. And have you ever seen like clips of like Post Malone and Dolly Parton? Like, I think I saw a clip of them like in the studio talking to each other.
He's always saying like, yes ma'am,
yeah,
yes ma'am.
It's adorable.
It is.
I forget who it was. Somebody he was talking to, somebody that he was saying yes ma'am to all the time. She was like, I finally got him to stop calling me ma'am. I forget who it was.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, but who was that?
Who was that? Somebody tell us. Wherever we post this, put in the comments. Tell us who it was.
Yeah, definitely let us know, because like I can picture that video, everything. I just can't picture who the artist is.
Yeah, it was...
It's going to drive me nuts.
Every other sentence, just, yes ma'am, thank you ma'am, of course ma'am, thank you ma'am. Like, he's adorable.
Yeah, no, it was definitely really cute seeing that. And this is a very This song has really fun, cute lyrics, so I think that's really cool. I would say because of that, and just because it's Dolly, I would give it this about a 7 out of 10.
I gave the song a 5 out of 10. I know this is probably the lowest rating I have for the album.
That's the lowest rating so far.
This was the most disappointed I was for a song, though, so I had to give it a lower rating. Sorry, Dolly.
We still love you, Dolly. You yourself get a 10 out of 10 because you're just amazing.
She is a
You're
10
a legend.
out of 10.
Okay, so moving on from that, we're going to get into track number 6, the first solo track on the album, and one of the few.
Yeah, one of 3.
Only 3 solo tracks on the original album.
He was really cooking.
Track number 6, What Don't Belong to Me.
This is one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah, go ahead, go off.
This song. We've already said this is the first solo song of the album. This was one of my favorites. It wasn't one of my favorites at first, but this song really grew on me because of the lyrics and just how catchy it was and like how I related to it and stuff like that. To me, this song is really just about like, feel like you found the one and you think back at what you've done and you're like, why did I do that? Why did I do all these things? Why did I leave my keys at the bar? Why didn't I get my keys back?
I don't mean to interrupt you. I do want to say I looked it up, and that was Taylor Swift.
Oh,
he was saying yes, ma'am, to all the time.
Big. Yeah,
that's funny because like they're actually pretty close to the same age.
So, oh yeah, they are.
She's only like a couple years older than him. Like she's I think early 30s. I think she is.
Just because she's tall.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Stop it!" Oh yeah, because they did Fortnite.
Yeah, they did
the song
Fortnite.
That Post Malone's barely on.
We're not gonna get into that.
No.
Just my thoughts a little bit. I love this track. It's really fun. Really cool message in it. I can't give you what don't belong to me, so stop trying to take what from me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could buy you anything you want. Anything you want, I can give to you. You want love? Affection? Huh? Empty.
Oh, yeah. It's a really cool track. I really love the music. I really love the beat, the production on it. I was saying before, I really think his voice lends well to country, but I think this is actually one of his best like vocal performances on the album overall. Like you really hear the passion coming through on this track. Yeah. I really love that. Overall, just like
he was really cooking on this one.
He was cooking. Like this is where the album like really takes off for me. Like I do like the first 5 tracks, but like this is where
it gets serious.
We hit the ground running.
We're like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah. I'd say 9.5. Yeah,
I give it a 10.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to do 10 out of 10 just yet.
Oh, okay, you're saving it.
I think I'm looking at the track list. I think there's a couple songs a little bit later I'd give a 10. I love this song. 9.5.
This song's great.
Definitely one of the best songs on the album.
Good job, Post Malone.
You really came through here.
He comments. He says, "Thanks, guys."
I did this for y'all to make y'all proud.
Oh wow, what a guy.
Moving on to track number 7.
Just Without Saying.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Featuring Brad Paisley.
Brad.
That's another big name in country.
Yeah, he is.
What'd you think?
This song really had just an old school vibe to it, I thought. To me, a little bit more than others. It just kind of stuck out to me. Post and Brad, they sound great together. They sound really great together. It's one of those songs you can relate to both sides of the story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I do want to say that we have a friend from the pet store. His name is Patrick.
Shout out Patrick.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Patrick.
Chillin'.
We gotta get you on the show soon, brother.
Come on, Patrick.
I know you want to talk about some rap music.
You know where I live.
But yeah, this is actually, I don't know if it's like his favorite song, but it's definitely one of his favorite songs. I remember talking to him about the album and like this song. This was one of the first songs that came up in his mind. So he really loves this song, and I get it. At first, this wasn't one of the ones I listened to the most. Like when I was listening to the album when it first came out. But it actually kind of grew on me. Mm-hmm. Like if we review this album a little sooner, I'd probably give it a lower rating than what I'm gonna say. But I do find myself listening to it a lot more now than I did maybe like a month ago when the album dropped. But yeah, I definitely think it's just a cool song, cool laid back sort of vibe, and the lyrics are very heartbreaking. There she goes without saying goodbye.
Yeah.
It just makes you think about your heartbreak of someone you give so much to, and they just up and leave you.
Yeah.
It's really sad, and it matches the vibe of the song.
Oh yeah. You can relate to both sides. Maybe there was something in or somebody in your life you had to just walk away without saying anything because it was just easier, and sometimes it's okay to walk away, but also it's okay to be upset about it.
Absolutely. Very appropriate title. It just goes without saying. Like these things just go without saying sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just better not to say nothing. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was this is a solid song.
I actually agree with that. 7 out of 10.
So really? This is the first time we agreed. We're like halfway through.
Yeah.
Not even halfway.
Lucky 7. That was the lucky number.
Oh, you're right.
7. 777. If you're in Las Vegas, there you go. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next track, number 8. Guy for that. This is one of 2 Luke Combs songs on the album.
Yeah, he's the only one to have 2 features.
Yeah,
lucky him.
Well, he's a big name in country music right now, so
he's great.
I totally get that.
Wasn't this a single too?
Yeah, this was released.
This was his 3rd single.
Yeah, it was. I Had Some Help, Pour Me a Drink, and then this one came out. Yeah, a couple weeks before the album dropped. Yeah, it was the 3rd single.
Yeah, this one kind of grew on me because at first I wasn't really into it.
Really?
No.
Oh, we about to disagree again.
Oh, here we go.
Go off.
All right. Well, it didn't hit the same for me as the other singles did and the rest of the album at the time. But the more I listened to it and the more I listened to the lyrics, I kind of got into it, and it kind of grew on me. And I hadn't really listened to Luke Combs prior to this ever because he's a fairly newer country artist. He started, I think his album debuted in 2017, his first album. I love his voice. He sounds great, and he and Post sound great together. It slowly grew on me. The more this is one of those songs you really have to listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's also one of the shorter songs on the album.
I was gonna say that too. I wrote that down.
Yeah, no, like they each get a verse, but then like it just kind of abruptly ends.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is for some of these. Like on the first disc, a lot of these songs they're like 3 minutes long, but they're short because there's no bridge or anything.
Yeah.
What's up with that, Post?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of artists these days are like making songs without bridges, but
yeah, everything's quicker now.
Yeah. But yeah, there are a couple of instances on here. I think that's really like my only complaint with this song. Mm-hmm. That like I do wish like maybe it was like another minute longer, or at least had some sort of bridge. Me personally, this was actually my favorite of the singles.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no, I love this song. I love Luke Combs. He has that like really cool like rasp, sort of like old sounding country sound to his voice and his music. But he's actually like pretty young himself. Like I think he's I think he's like early 30s.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's a young guy.
All right.
Definitely a big name in country. I love his sound. I love his music. Mm-hmm. And I think, like you were saying, their voices blend well with each other. This is just a cool, fun sort of vibe. And I do like the lyrics to this song as well. You know, I got a guy who can do this. I can do that. I can change your tires. I can do all that. But like, what you're looking for, I don't got a guy for that.
Because he wants to be the guy.
Yeah. Really cool song. Again, the only thing I think hurts it a little bit is the fact that it doesn't have a bridge, but I love it. It's so catchy. I was listening to this one like over and over again on loops when it first came out, and I still listen to it kind of on loop. I really love this song. I say 9.5.
Oh, I thought this was going to be your 10 out of 10 song.
We'll get into that in a minute.
All right. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I still liked it. Okay. That's fair.
I guess that's okay.
All right.
Moving on. Number 9, Nosedive, featuring Lainey Wilson. Lainey Wilson, that's another like big name in country music right now coming up. I think she won a Grammy a year or two ago for Best Country Album. Well, she mixes a lot like old school country sounds as well as like sort of like blues, sort of like even like a little bit like bluegrass kind of thing. Yeah, like she definitely has like her own lane.
I can hear that in her voice.
Yeah, no, that definitely, and it definitely works well with this type of track. But what did you think of the track?
This was honestly probably my favorite song when it first came out. When I listened to this song like on repeat for like the first 2 weeks after the album came out. Nosedive sounded really different from the other songs to me. What they do to their voices, they go, ooh, you know what I mean? I can't sing, so I couldn't repeat it if I wanted to. It was very unique to me. I really love the lyrics. You know, every thorn has its rose. Usually people say every rose has its thorn. To me, it was like you look for beauty in your troubles. Whatever you're going through, you just kind of have to look on the silver lining of things. And that's the kind of mentality I've really been trying to adopt since 2020, since the COVID years. Mm-hmm. And the song has a really nice message that kind of relates to that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah, you know, there are just moments in your life when you're just going to feel down. You're going to feel low. Like, you're just going to feel like you're at a low point in your life and nothing's going to go well. But you have to look for the beauty in those moments. Otherwise, you're just going to feel a little bit depressed about everything. I've had moments like that. This song actually, I think, also helped me to kind of like rise up a little bit from those moments and just find beauty even in the darkest of times. So yeah, this song is very beautiful lyrically. Their voices sound really great together. I really love her voice on this track. And this song, I think it works also because like I think it's one of the few songs I could actually listen to on one of his other albums. Like I could have maybe seen this on Austin.
Yeah, you're right. I could see it on Austin. It's
Definitely.
that same kind of vibe.
Yeah. I give this a 9 out of 10. I really love this song.
Yeah, did I give this a 9 out of 10? I did.
Hey.
Wow, look at that.
Another agreement. Another one.
Oh wait, is he on the list? Can we quote him anymore?
Moving on. That's the halfway point when it comes to the standard album.
That's it. We did it.
Here we go. Now we're getting into double-digit tracks. Number 10.
We got a big one.
Losers featuring Jelly Roll. Big name in country right now. This guy is blowing up. He's everywhere.
Blowing up. He really seemed like an underdog. He came out of nowhere.
No, that's what he talks about all the time. Like when he was winning awards, like he's I think he's almost like in his 40s, and like he's just like really like popping off now. He was like, I've been in the gutter. He's been in the prison, but like he's risen above that. His faith in God has like really pulled him through, and like now he's just living his best life. He was just on SNL as well.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was the premiere. They're in their 50th season right now. He was the premier musical guest, so that was really cool. Yeah,
he's been around for a while. He's been putting out music since like 2011.
And he's another one.
Hustling.
He's another one who does like a lot of different genres. Like he has like rap music as well.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he's a versatile guy himself. So yeah, no, this is really cool seeing them together. What did you think of the song?
I loved this song. I've loved this song since the album came out. I remember listening to the song for the first time, and I texted you and I said, this song belongs in like a Y2K coming of age movie, because that's exactly the kind of vibe that this song has. You know what I mean? Those like 2000 like coming of age movies where like there was like the misfit and they didn't fit in and they got bullied. Mm-hmm. This is the perfect song for, like, this song was written for them.
I definitely agree with that. Now, me personally, this is one of the songs that kind of had to grow on me a little bit. I was a little disappointed because like I was really looking forward to it when I saw the Jelly Roll was on here. I definitely get what you're saying. This is definitely an anthem for people who just feel like outcasts.
Never fit in.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally right there in the lyrics.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of that where I feel like it's a little bit generic. Like I don't mean to like be like that guy, like just saying like, oh, this is generic. This is
trash, bro.
Yeah. But like, no, I do think there could have been like a more interesting way to describe it than what's going on here. But I don't mind the simplicity of it. I still do think it's a great track. And it's definitely something I listen to now more than I have in the past. So like the song definitely grew on me, and I do like the message.
It is basic, like not in a bad way.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
It's just very simple, and I feel like I don't hear a lot of songs with this simple of a message lately. Like maybe in the 2000s, I definitely would have, but in the 2020s, there's not a lot of songs or artists that really talk about this simple of a thing.
I don't think you see this a lot in music these days, and frankly, I think you really do need this kind of like message in music more, because I remember stuff like this like really pulling me through my dark times, like in middle school and high school, and I just felt low. I felt like an outcast, and bullying I think is at an all-time high. Unfortunately, I think kids these days could really use a song like this.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that it's out here now.
Yeah, when you listen to it, you just get really like mentally pumped up. It makes you feel good. It's a very cozy song to listen to. I kind of wish this song was out when I was in middle school, just to add it to my playlist of songs because you can only listen to Linkin Park so many times.
We love Linkin Park. R.I.P. So, what's your rating?
I gave it a 10. This was great. This was a great song.
I gave it a 7.
Ooh.
If you asked maybe around the time this first came out, I would have said like maybe like a 6. But it definitely grew on me, and I definitely love the message. And I think they both sound really good on it, so I say 7.
It grew on you a whole point's worth.
Exactly.
That's great.
Moving on from there, number 11, Devil I've Been, featuring Ernest. I don't know too much about this guy, so
I don't either. I kind of just like looked at his Spotify profile and saw he's a fairly newer artist. His album debut was in 2019. So he started putting out music right before COVID hit, which kind of sucked for him, I'm sure. But he pulled through. He's still making music.
Yeah, now he's on a Post Malone album. So
yeah. Can you imagine just starting out and Post Malone reaching out to you?
That's dope.
4 years later? That's crazy.
Good for you, Ernest.
Good for you, man.
But what did you think of the song?
I really like this song.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay.
You said, like, I thought you were going to say, like, you didn't like it. Go ahead.
I wanted to throw a curveball.
Go off.
I really like this song. I really liked the theme of it. I mean, one of my favorite lines in the song is, I hung my horns on the wall as soon as she walked in.
Mm-hmm.
You find those people in your life. It could be a relationship. It could be friends. It could be family, adopted family. You find these people in your life that you want to be better for. And you hang your horns on the wall and you're done being the old you, and you want to be good. I've been talking so much.
Well,
I never talked this much. This is crazy. I've had like some friends and coworkers be like, "Oh, when this is out, like share it with me. I want to." Like, I've never spoken more than like a sentence to them in a day. I think they're going to be like, "Who is this?
Who is this gal?
Who is this person?" But I mean, and to me, the song "Devil I've Been," it's you don't want to stay the same. You want to be better, because when you find people in your life that you want to be around, you want to be better. You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean. Now, when I first was listening to the album, I thought the song was fine. Again, it was one of those songs I wasn't returning to as much. However, and this is about to take a huge turn, the more I listened to it, the more it really grew on me. Like, a lot of the songs I wasn't listening to before, like, grew on me, but I think more than anything, like, most improved when it comes to, like, growing on me, it was definitely this one. Like, I went from thinking, like, this is okay, to, like, loving this song. I love this song. The chorus is, like, so catchy when they get into the ain't the devil part. And I just love that idea. I love the message of it. Like you said, like, I feel like we're blessed with people in our lives who do make us want to change, who make us want to be better. Because, like, you can say you want to change, but, like, it's a whole different thing, like, actually trying to go through it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, no, you have to, like, really want it.
You can't just manifest it. You have to physically go out there and change yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do think you're helped by the ones around you who care for you.
You could say you had some help. Hello, we're back.
So sorry about that. Yeah, our mics and our system kind of died there on us. We got to wrap up these things a little faster. What I was saying before, yeah, I think this is just a really great track, really fun message, really good message, and really just fun overall to listen to. I'd say I give this a 9 out of 10. I really love this song. One of my favorites.
10. I love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I give it a 10.
All right.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my favorites.
I give a lot of songs on this album a 10.
It's all good.
I have to, though. I love Post Malone.
I get it. Moving on now, we're going to get into track number 12, Never Love Again, featuring Sierra Farrell. What'd you think of the track?
I felt like this had a really, like an old school vibe more than others, and it was a little more chill and a little more sad. Just give me one more day, and then that's all I need. You don't have to think of me. I don't have to see you ever again. I just need one more moment. Yeah,
no, it's definitely got one of the more sadder messages on the album. And I think everyone's kind of been there, just saying, if I could just have, like, just one more day of what I've loved, that would just fill me up enough. And we can just go our separate ways after that. We don't have to do this anymore. I just need just a little bit more. If you could just give me one more chance, which is really sad to hear, but I think we've all kind of been there.
Yeah, it's good to hear these messages and songs.
And I definitely love, like, the old school sound, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, it's just, I love that old school sound of country. I love it so much. And this is exactly what I was hoping for. I was not expecting this sort of, like, older sound for Post. I thought definitely we were staying, like, more, like, modern country sound. But it's really cool seeing him dive into, like, this old school sound as well. And it really worked well. I think their harmonies are very beautiful. I don't know if, like, maybe she does, like, more background vocals for, like, other artists, but I do kind of wish maybe she had, like, a verse of her own.
She sounded beautiful.
Yeah, she's got a gorgeous voice. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But their harmonies are gorgeous here.
Yeah.
I love this song. I'd say 9.5.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I love it.
Because I personally don't dive into these sadder songs a lot on my own, but it's still a wonderful song.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely one of my favorites. Might be my top 3. Like, I can listen to this on repeat. Moving on, number 13, Missing You Like This, featuring, once again,
he's back.
Luke Combs. Telling you, man, this guy's huge. He's everywhere. Literally, even on this album, twice.
Yeah, he loved it so much he had to come back.
Yeah, but no, I definitely think it works because the two of them sound great together. So, why not do another track? Do a whole album. But what'd you think of the song?
Luke Combs' Post Malone album.
I listened to it.
It's like Metro and 21.
What are your thoughts?
I'm sorry, it's Metro and it's like Metro and Future. I'm sorry.
No, Metro and 21 have an album together too. Future always dropping.
Future dropped another album.
But what you think of this song? has nothing to do with Future, Metro, or 21.
I'm sorry. I'm sure.
I'm just messing with you.
It's like, because Luke Combs came back because they're like friends. They love doing songs together. And just like Metro and Future, they love doing songs together.
Exactly.
This song, it was a good song. And when I first listened to it, I really loved it. But then it kind of faded out a little bit for me because I started to love other songs more. And also, fun fact, this is the longest song on the album. It's 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Wow.
This is the longest song on the album. Like, that's it. These songs are so short. We need more verses, Post.
Give me some 4-minute tracks, Post. Come on now.
Yeah. This is one of those songs you can, like, when you're by yourself in the car and it's, like, late at night, you can just shout the lyric. You can just sing as loud as you want, and those lyrics are going to hit you.
Okay. For me, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. I love this song. I love the other Luke Combs song. I didn't think, when I saw he was on the album twice, I wasn't sure, like, if he was going to be able to top it. He topped it. It's so good. I love the message. I love the lyrics. I never would have done the things that I've done if I knew I'd be missing you like this. I think a lot of people have been there in that sort of situation. Just thinking like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. I'll jump right back. No problem. But then you're just like, oh man, I didn't really think I'd miss you as much as I do. And that's a message you really gotta think about in your life when it comes to like dropping people, missing people, and just like losing people as well. I wouldn't have made the mistakes I've made. I wouldn't have acted the way I've acted if I knew I'd miss you as much as I miss you right now, because I'm missing you like crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I definitely felt like that at some points in my life. More so with friends, not necessarily relationships, but more so friends, where I'm like, man, I really wouldn't have said those things or defended that or done this. I would have done this differently if I knew that we weren't gonna be friends anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
I've been there as well. And I think this is definitely one of the most passionate vocal performances as well, I think, from Post on this album. And Luke as well. They sounded amazing. For me, this is 10 out of 10.
Ooh, that's your 10 out of 10 song.
This might be my favorite on the album.
Wow.
I love this song so much. Luke Combs came through on this album for me.
I give this a solid 8 out of 10. It's a good song. But for me, this is one of those songs where I have to be in the mood to listen to it.
We don't have to disagree on that.
Okay, that's
we
fine.
We disagree.
Okay.
We accept all opinions. But I can listen to this all the time. We accept opinions.
That's a statement. We accept opinions. Leave your opinion in the comments below.
We do want to hear your thoughts on this album.
Yeah, we're going to post this on this is definitely going on Spotify. This is going on YouTube. I don't know where else it's going to go yet. We don't know.
We're definitely going to need like your reviews and like 5-point ratings.
We're going to need some help.
Yeah, no. You guys are going to have to... I need some help. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get this going. We gotta get this off the ground.
Share this with your friends, with your grandma, with your dog, with everybody. Y'all gotta hear this.
Please, we need the support.
We're funny. We promise.
We want to do this.
This is just fun.
Absolutely.
It's just fun to have a hobby. I don't really have a lot of hobbies. I just come home and I just hang out and I just play video games or I just watch. I don't know. I've been into wrestling lately. I do that. I just hang out. I don't have hobbies.
Support our hobby.
Please.
Okay, but moving on to the next track.
14.
California Sober, featuring Chris Stapleton. This guy is just huge in country music. He's got that cool sort of old school sound. He definitely mixes in like rock, bluegrass, and he always comes through. Like, he's a really great artist. He has a lot of passion when he sings. He's got a bunch of Grammys. I know that. Like,
good for him.
Yeah, big name.
Wow.
This is a really big hit.
Honestly, I don't think I've heard of him until this album.
Really?
Because I live under a rock, you know. You know me.
I guess.
You know me. I live under a rock. I do my own thing and I go to bed every day. But I mean, he sounded great. I love his low voice on this. His voice is really low.
Yeah.
I really love that in country. Like, it kind of reminds me of, remember that old country song, The Long Black Train? I forget who sings it, but you know how low his voice was?
Yeah. I know exactly. Well, what's the guy's name? I know exactly what you mean.
Voices in country. I forget his name. I distinctly remember the music video as a kid.
Josh Turner.
Yes, thank you. I remember the music video. I remember listening to that as a kid, and I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, no, I like Josh Turner. Mm-hmm. He has, I do like that deep voice that he has. Yeah. It's really cool. This track, I really like Chris Stapleton. I really like this sort of like collab vibe that they have. I do think maybe they could have went a little harder on this song. I don't know. I just feel like when you have somebody like Chris Stapleton, who's at that level of talent, songwriting wise. I do think maybe we could have done a little bit more. I do feel like this was maybe
It's a quick song.
Yeah, it's a quick song.
It's like 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Yeah, I just think maybe a bit of a missed opportunity with this collab. I do think they maybe could have come up with something a little bit better, but I do like the song.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the strongest on the album, but it is kind of fun. It's kind of fun to have on there. It's almost like a kind of like a break in between the more serious songs. But I also think this is one of those songs where you really have to listen to the lyrics, and some of the lyrics are actually kind of funny. My favorite lyric is, "If you see a wallet on the ground, you bet your ass that shit's mine." That's my favorite. It's so funny. But this song, like, I had to listen to it a few times to kind of get my own understanding of the song. And honestly, it kind of reminds me of Red Dead Redemption. You ever play that?
I haven't played it too much, but I get what you're saying.
It's got that, like, that fun cowboy feel to it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I love that, like, fun sound. That's what I like so much about the Hank Williams Jr. song earlier. And I think, like, it's been brought back here on this track. So, like, yeah, that definitely gave it some points for me. What's your rating?
I'd probably rate the song at, like, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. It's a solid song. It's not one that I'm gonna run to pick and select out of all the other songs, but it is very fun to listen to when you don't feel like listening to a serious song. Not that it's not a serious song, you know what I mean? But the lyrics are silly.
Yeah, I don't mind like the fun. I like the fun vibe. Yeah, I kind of agree with your rating. I'd say about 7 out of 10. I just think again, when you have someone like Chris, I'm a Chris Stapleton fan. I really like Chris Stapleton, so I was just kind of hoping for a bit more here when it came to this track. I was really excited when I saw his name on the album, but I was a little disappointed. So 7 out of 10 for me. Moving on there, number 15.
Number 15.
Hide My Gun, featuring Hardy. That's another name I'm not too familiar with. I've definitely heard of him.
I saw a picture of him. He definitely looks like he'd be an English professor. If I didn't know he was a country artist, he looks like he would be a professor at a private university. You know what I mean?
I get that. I'm looking at a picture of him right now. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But hey, do you, man? Do you?
Yeah, he looks distinguished.
What'd you think of the song?
This is one of my favorite songs, honestly. This song really, really grew on me, because at first I was like, okay, this just kind of sounds like another country song to me. I get it. But then, like, this song really grew on me the more I listened to it. This is one of those songs for Post Malone, I think, where if you really listen to it, you can really start to hear that country twang come out of his voice. You know what I mean?
I get that.
It kind of makes him and Hardy sound kind of similar, because he already has that, like, twang in his voice.
Right.
And Post Malone's, like, not matching it, but, like, really complimenting it. This is one of those corny country songs, because it does sound similar to other country songs that are already out there. This one's just kind of corny, but it's a Post Malone cheesy kind of song.
I think that was my big issue with it. Again, just like the overall worry for this album was that I thought it was just going to get a little too like generic, a little too cheesy. This is what a country album should sound like, as opposed to just making like a genuine Post Malone country album. This is one of the few bumpy spots where I think it hits the former rather than the latter. I think it's a fine song. I don't think it's bad. Shout out to Hardy. I thought he sounded very nice on the song as well. This is one song I don't return to more than anything. Another issue I kind of had with the album overall was that it's pretty long. Like, I'm more than welcome to more Post Malone, but I do think a couple songs could have been taken out. This is one of the few I think could have been taken out for me. Like, I wouldn't have really minded if this song was gone. This is probably my least favorite song on the album.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not hating on the track at all. It's a fine track. It's just,
very good.
Yeah, I didn't really love this one. I would actually say like 5 out of 10.
I'd probably give this song like an 8.5 out of 10. I kind of like the cheesy aspect of it, because to me it's not over the top. It's not completely cheese. There is some, like, it's just one of those cheesy love songs, and I don't typically like them, but this one I really did like. Yeah,
I get that. This one just didn't really work for me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Moving on?
Yeah, moving on. Almost the last 3 tracks. Number 16, the second solo song. Kind of crazy that we're so deep into the album. We're only at the second solo track.
It's just Post Malone on this one.
Right About You. What'd you think?
This was my favorite song on the album.
Ooh.
This is my favorite. This one, it was not my favorite at first. Nosedive was probably my favorite for a little bit, but this one grew on me the most, and it is my favorite song on the album, because this one I feel like I relate to the most. I feel like Post Malone always puts out like 1 or 2 songs, and they just really hit me at the exact point where I am in my life, and this was that song for me. I mean, I have it on, I make playlists for everything. I make playlists every single year of my top songs for the year, and the song is going on there, and it's going to be one of those, like, put a song in bold size, like 20 font. This would be it.
You love this song.
I love this song.
I really like it too. Now, when I first listened to this album, this was maybe one of the few I didn't return to as much.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm kind of going to say what I was saying about the Ernest song, Devil I Been. When I did return to it, like I was loving it more and more. So I went, this is okay. I probably won't listen to it too much. Definitely being on repeat. This is definitely one of the songs I got on repeat right now. I do love the message to it. There have been some songs on this album that kind of like laid back, softer sort of sound, had a little bit more of like a sadder message. I do like how he went like sort of like the opposite direction here. It's like a fun, just sort of happy, sort of loving sort of message with that old school, laid back kind of sound with it. So like, I've really grown to love this song.
Mm-hmm. I really love just the tune itself to it. Even the instrumental is just so fun to listen to.
It has a beautiful melody. Sorry.
Yes, no, you're fine. It gets stuck in your head so easily.
And I also really loved his vocals on the album.
It is so
on the song. We're gonna keep jumping back and forth.
I'll tell you my favorite lyric. At 2 minutes, my favorite lyric, I could change up all the chords, I could get my fingers flowing free, but as long as you're with me, I can have my harmony.
Aww,
I thought that was really sweet.
That is really sweet. That's a really nice lyric.
Yeah.
But I also just love, like I was saying before, like he has like that rasp in his voice that kind of like lends well to country music. I really love here how his voice was just like very soft, very clear. There's a clarity sort of in his voice on this track.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more different from the rest of the songs he's been on. He's been on because there's so many features.
Yeah, but no, he's definitely taking charge on the album. But it is nice. I do love the features. It was really great seeing a lot of these artists come together. It is a little refreshing just hearing a song that's solely him.
Yeah.
That was nice to hear. That was another thing that was just nice to hear on the album. But you'll get more of that when we do the review of The Long Bed, which is strictly a solo side. Rating for this song, do you have more to say?
Oh yeah, I wonder if he felt a little nervous to put out these solo songs on F-1 Trillion before The Long Bed came out, because there's only 3 solo songs. People sit down to listen to this, they're going to see that, and they're going to really listen to these solo songs and really want to critique them.
Right.
I wonder how he felt about that. I wonder if that was intentional, or if he was just kind of like, well, these are the people that wanted to do songs with me, and that means I'm going to put out these songs solo, the only 3, and that's fine. Maybe he didn't care.
And Post is also like an artist, like when he does something, he goes all the way in with it. I do think like maybe he got these features together, maybe thinking like, okay, I want this to be as crazy as country as possible, so let's try and get like all the big names, all the names in country right now that we can get. So I think that's also kind of lends to why there are so many features on here. I really like the solo tracks. I think the solo tracks from the standard version work really well. I give this song an 8.5.
Yeah, I give it a 10. It's my I give it an 11 if I could.
Oh wow, 11.
Because I've given so many songs 10. I feel like
how many songs you give 10?
I don't remember. At least like 3 or 4.
You don't remember?
I might have done it. I don't remember, but this song is special to me. I love the message. The same message. You want to be better for the people around you when you find your people.
I get that.
I have the song on loop a lot when I'm driving, because I drive everywhere now. I used to hate driving. I drive everywhere now. I'll put my boyfriend in the passenger seat. This song comes on loop all the time, and I turn it up and I sing it, and he's grown to love it too. Because I'm like, listen, I added this to our playlist. Like, we're listening to this. This is one of our songs now.
Shout out to her homeboy, James. Not me, James. It's a different James.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When she told me that, I was like, oh, his name's James too? Well, we about to have a party.
Yeah, his name's James. We go way back too. We went to high school together in middle school.
Nice.
We dated in middle school.
Really?
Yes.
I know that.
I think I told you that. I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember?
Yeah, we dated in 8th grade back. This was like 2011, 2012. Back in that really random era, like cringe. You know what I'm talking about? Like Invader Zim, like.
Ooh, Invader Zim.
Yeah, like that era where it was. So it was that cringy era.
I get that.
When you go through that era with somebody, you really stick with them.
Well, it's nice that you guys kind of came back and found each other again.
Yeah, and now I make him listen to Post Malone, and he loves Post Malone now.
We gotta have to get his thoughts. But yeah. Well, I really love this song. Moving on, track number 17. Ooh, I've been waiting to talk about this one.
I know it.
I'm bouncing on the couch. I'm jumping up and down. I've been waiting to talk about this track. Mexico, Mexico, featuring Billy Strings. What you think?
YMCA? I don't know her. It's over for her. It's all about Mexico now. Have you seen the little dance he does on stage?
Can you make Mexico with your hands like you do YMCA?
I do. I do it while I drive. It's probably not safe, but I do it.
I wouldn't do that when you drive.
I do it. It's fine. I have the lane assistance on. It's fine. This is a great song. This was so fun. This is probably like the most exciting song on the album. When it comes on, I'm like, all right, it's a party.
I love this song. I definitely agree. Like, it's just fun. I love the storytelling side, the country. But this song just has like a cool, fun, quirky kind of story. Saying like, oh man, like I'm in trouble. I gotta run off to Mexico. I gotta leave it all behind for LBXICO for me. Oh, I love this song. Yeah, him and Billy Strings. This made me want to listen to some Billy Strings music. Billy Strings has like that cool, like old school bluegrass vibe. I loved it. I love this song. It's so fun. Has a fun storytelling sort of vibe to it. I vibe to this song. This for me. Unless you have more to say, I'm gonna give it a rating.
You can give your rating, and then I'll say some more stuff.
Okay, this is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's great.
I went back and forth between this and Missing You Like This as to which was my favorite. I think I might lean a little more towards Missing You Like Crazy. I'm Missing You Like This, excuse me. But I love this song. This is my second 10 out of 10. And these are my only two 10 out of 10s for the album. I love it.
Did you know this is the shortest song on the album?
But it's definitely fast-paced.
It's fast-paced, but also time-wise, it's the shortest song. It's 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
That is short.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that short. But
yeah.
Again, it's just so fast and like you just speed through it. It's very simple, so I get that.
It goes by so quick, but at the same time, you're like, oh, okay, that's the story. Like, he told the whole story.
It's right there.
I like that he took a traditional way of telling a story, but he made it fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because usually, like, from my memory, hearing stories being told through country songs are usually a little more sad, a little more, like, low, like a slower tempo. But he was like, no, we're doing this. We're taking it up a notch.
Let's go crazy. What was at the end? Sing it with me, y'all. What's your rating?
This is great. This is a 9 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. This is 10 out of 10 for me. I love this song.
That's great.
Top 3 for me. And that takes us to the very last song on the standard version of the album.
And the last solo song of 1 Trillion.
It's number 18, Yours, which is a dedication to his daughter. What did you think?
This was a beautiful song. I really liked it. Sounded so traditional in the country genre. And this sounded so traditional because when you think about like old country songs, there's always that traditional like father-daughter theme in a lot of different country songs, or different artists write songs about their daughters and how they don't want they're going to walk them down the aisle and they're going to, have a traditional wedding and they don't want them to grow up. So it's really nice that he took his own way of doing this type of tradition.
Yeah, no, I think you see a lot of artists, not just country artists, but like artists in general, when they get older and then they have kids, they do write songs, just imagining their kids growing up one day, going off, living their own lives, and like, they're not so much a part of yours anymore. And it's sad, but it's also like a sort of a beautiful thing to see. Like, you raise them up right to the point where they can live their own lives. They don't depend on you as much anymore. But it's also kind of sad that they don't depend on you so much anymore because you were a family, but you gotta let them go and sort of form their own family. But even with that, even saying, even though you're going off and you're making your own life and you found like someone that you love, that doesn't mean that I'm gone. That doesn't mean that we're not a family ourselves anymore. You're still a love for me, and you can even have that with someone else, but you'll always be that little girl for me. You'll always be my child. It's a really beautiful track. You got any more?
Yeah, no, you explained it that's perfect. You can tell he loves his kids so much. Even like if you ever see like different clips of him like after his concerts or something, and he goes up to like greet the fans and talk to them and stuff, and they'll try to like give him things like stuffed animals and toys and stuff. One of the first things he'll always say is, "Oh, thank you, my daughter's gonna love this." He's not probably actually going to give it to his daughter, but that's the first thing he thinks of, and that's so sweet. He's always like, "Oh, she would love this."
We support loving fathers.
This is great.
What's your rating?
This is a great song. This is beautifully written, but it's not one that I'm gonna go and just select to listen to off the top of my head. But I mean, I give it a solid 7 out of 10. I give it
an 8 out of 10. Beautiful message. I used to listen to it a lot back when the album first came out. Maybe I don't listen to it as much anymore, which is maybe why I'm not saying like 9. Again, I think it's a beautiful song, and I think it's a great way to cap off this album.
That's true.
The standard version, again, because there's another 9 songs we're going to get into another day. Great, beautiful end to this album. I loved it. 8 out of 10.
What do you rate the album as a whole?
As a whole, I think that this is a great dive into country for an artist who's not typically known for country. This overall did not feel like a kind of album that just felt like, oh, yeah, copy paste. This is what a country album sound like. This really felt overall like a real, authentic take on a country. And I really like that for him. Again, there were a couple songs that I felt like the novelty was there. It was a little generic. And frankly, it was just a little bloated. I think if you cut those couple songs, I would have rated it a bit higher. I really love this album. I really enjoyed it. Post sounded great. I would say out of 10, I give this a 7.5.
Wow.
What'd you think?
Yeah. I really love this album. It's not going to be, well, it probably is going to be one of my like top Post Malone albums, but he's only had so many come out at the same time. But I think it's so cool, and I really appreciate that he can put his mind to any genre he wants to do and just do a wonderful job with it. And we've seen him do that over the years with rap, with pop, with country now, with rock, with everything. He's kind of like the David Bowie of our era, because they always said David Bowie is like a chameleon of music. He can do whatever he wants, and it just sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's Post Malone for us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of great songs that I've added to my personal playlist and I will never stop listening to. And I'd probably rate this album at like a solid, I'd probably do like an 8.2 out of 10.
Okay. That's
I'm
good
gonna
rating.
add the 0.2 in there.
You got a top 3 you want to say?
Right About You's my number 1, just from F-1 Trillion alone. Number two might have to be maybe What Don't Belong to Me. That's probably my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I have a tie. I have a tie between Nosedive and Mexico. Because Mexico's so fun and so different.
Yeah. For me, definitely Missing You Like This. Mexico, love it. Those are my top 2. I love those songs. 10 out of 10. Number 3 is close between Guy for That and Never Love You Again. I'm going to put Never Love You Again a little bit because I already have a Luke Combs song in my top 3. But I do like the song, so I'll say Never Love You Again is my number 3. That's my top 3.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a top 3 for this one.
It is. There are a lot of great tracks.
For any Post Malone album.
I didn't hate a single track on here.
Oh no, I definitely didn't hate anything.
Yeah, no.
But there's a couple that I'm like, well, I'll just skip it, but I still appreciate it.
Where would you put it overall in his discography?
Maybe this is probably number 3 for me. This is probably my 3rd favorite Post Malone album.
Top 3.
Probably in my top 3, because this is great. And I haven't gone out of my way to listen to country since this summer because of Post Malone.
Right.
So now when I listen to this album, you know how Spotify, when you finish an album, it'll just start putting on similar songs. So that's what it does. And then I end up listening to Morgan Wallen. I listen to Jelly Roll. I'll listen to Luke Combs, And you just find more music to enjoy, which is always great. I love finding different songs to listen to and different artists to get into. And
oh, same here. Like, I think it's really great.
I think it's fun. That's so stupid.
But yeah, though, this definitely helped me give more love to country than I think I have in the past. It's definitely put me on to a lot of artists who I wasn't familiar with, or I was, and maybe haven't listened to as much, but I definitely will want to go and listen to their music. Maybe even review some of their music someday. But yeah, that was really great to see. And yeah, with that.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. First album review, first podcast episode. Yep, we were saying earlier, we're going to be posting this all over social media. Do you want to make like a page personally for the podcast, or you want to just...
A page where? We have...
We can do like a Facebook page. We can do like a Instagram.
We could. Oh, we could. I haven't used Instagram in like a year.
Well, here you go. You're going to run the Instagram page.
Oh, okay.
But look,
we could make a Facebook page and stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just want to make sure it's out there for the platform, because more than anything, we do want to hear your thoughts. Hear what you think of the album, what you think of the show, and we just need the love and support from you guys to keep this going, to expand it more. Yeah,
love and support and feedback. Tell us how we can improve.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not good with feedback, but I'll still listen to it. Because there's so much we want to talk about.
Opinions.
We have, we have to get into Long Bed. We have to get into other Post Malone albums. We wanted to talk about this album since it came out in August, and it's October now.
Yeah, it took a little bit to get this show up and running, but here it is. So, and there's definitely the Long Bed review is coming soon. Definitely going to be more music reviews and just overall reviews are on the way soon. So
we went to a concert over the summer. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to have some special guests on the show. We're a Duck Squad.
We didn't explain that.
We did not. We have our friends. I mentioned one of them, Patrick, but we also have another friend, Danielle.
Shout out, Danielle.
We work together as a whole at the pet store, and we'd hang out. We still hang out a lot. I mean, we went to an arcade and like we all won like these like little like rubber duckies. So like we just went on to call ourselves the Duck Squad. So like we were like Duck Squad. We got a Duck Squad chat. Now we got a Duck Squad podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty soon we're gonna have like Duck Squad shirts. We're gonna have a Duck Squad album come out. We're gonna be artists. We're gonna have merch. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you're gonna review our albums, and you better say 10 out of 10.
It's gonna be 10 out of 10.
But yeah, we're gonna try and get them on the show, have them review some stuff as well. So
yeah, we're gonna have all kinds of guests.
We're a group. Yeah, a whole bunch of guests. We're a squad, man. Duck Squad all day.
Yeah.
But with that, you got anything else?
If you're still listening to this, we love you. Thank you.
We are an hour and 36 minutes. I'm seeing right now. We'll probably cut it down so it'll be a little shorter. With that,
I'm gonna tweet it.
Get on Twitter.
I will never call it X. I will never call it X. It's going to be Twitter.
Sorry, Elon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to this.
Yeah, thank you again.
We appreciate it so much.
We appreciate the love, support. And yeah, we'll be back soon with more.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts too in the comments if we have comments. Comment what you think, what your favorite song is, what your least favorite song is, what your favorite Post Malone song is in the entire world.
Give us your ratings, your thoughts, and tell us what you want us to review next. Because we have a lot of stuff we want to review, but we also want to hear what you would like us to listen to review. Because maybe it's something that's not on our radar.
Yeah, we'll add it to the list.
Yeah, we love listening, getting new things. So please, the more the merrier.
Yeah, and I mean, this was our first podcast, so it's gonna be a little rocky, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, I promise.
It's gonna get better, trust me.
That's what they always say, and they're always right. Because
it does. Like we're looking at this a year from now and be like, oh man, we're so much better now than we were back then. Yeah, we gotta get filming so we can post this. Like you just see us just acting up on this couch right now, going crazy. I was having a good old time.
Yeah, Mexico came on. He went through the ceiling.
I was jumping up and down. I love that song. 10 out of 10. But yeah.
Yeah, one step at a time.
One step at a time. This has
Alicia Keys.
That's not Alicia Keys.
No.
That's Jordan Sparks.
It is.
One step at a time. That song?
Yeah.
That's Jordan Sparks. Alicia Keys.
It was a good guess.
No, it wasn't.
No, it
wasn't. We love you, Jordan Sparks. We love you too, Alicia Keys. We love you both.
We'll talk about you eventually.
We gotta wrap this up. We're getting crazy. This has been the Duck Squad podcast. See you next time.
Bye-bye.